Chicago, Chicago, that toddling town, Chicago, Chicago, I'll show you around.
Speaking Chicago.
The corner was our magic, our music, our politics. Fires raised as tribal dances and war cries broke out on different corners. Power to the people.
If you don't know by now, I'm talking about Shot Town. Ain't just say Shot City, Shot City.
They said the Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You got to make a distinction.
So that case that Chairman Fred was actually locked up and framed for happened right here on 17th and Warren. They said that he stole $71 worth of ice cream and gave it to the children. The person that actually did that came out and said that he did it, and they said, no, this is the man we want. So, you know, at a very young age, the state, they seen Chairman's organizing skills. At the age of 14, they put a wiretap on the phone here right at this house at a young age. At the age of 13, Chairman Fred was able to bring the junior NAACP from a 7 to 300 members in a 7.5 month time period. So they saw his organizing capabilities there at a young age. They basically tried to say that they had a shootout with the Panthers, but when it came down to it, it really showed that out of 100 shots, 99 of them came from the Pigs and 1 came from the Panthers. If you see in the movie, Defense Captain Mark Clark was sitting in that chair and his gun had went off, that was that shot.
William O'Neill, who gave the floor plan for the assassination of Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. Some of you may say, why you keep saying Chairman Fred? Why you never say my daddy?
Yeah.
Why you always say that? Yeah. I struggle to be objective because the deal is, because it's like, this is one of our major representatives of our people. And him being Chairman Fred does not take away from him being my father, or my mother's husband, my grandparents' son. Politics, there's an old African saying that goes, what's good for the family may not be good for the community. What's good for the community is good for the family and the community. You with me? The bigger dynamic of him being Chairman Fred. See, so if I just say, oh, the post killed my dad, you may have an out, say, okay, I sympathize, that's your father, I feel sorry for you. You feel what I'm saying? This is a representative. That hit that area. People told me when they came back, how drugs are going to be flooded through there. You feel what I'm saying? That, it's bigger than me, and I have to acknowledge that. Like even the campaign to say the Hampton House. Tug and pull. So we think, believe me, we don't cover one mountain, something else comes up. Like, well, we've been here with no heat, no water, no lights. Like literally been here. When we first got here, the plan was, there's a war tactic called salt the earth. Anyone ever heard that term before? Yeah. Salt the earth? You look at some of the old movies, you might see them, like one country conquers another country. They say, okay, go salt, put salt in the earth. They crops, they can't grow, in the future, they can't grow food, right? So salt the earth, like even with legacies, you'll say to attack you and say, okay, I'm gonna kill you for generations. You follow what I'm saying? So after Chairman Fred and the Defense Captain Mark Clark were assassinated, we came here years later. The place where they were assassinated, people were selling drugs right there. They were selling drugs here. That's salt in the earth. We told them that can't happen here. You know what I'm saying? We're not pushing it to happen anywhere, but in particular. You follow what I'm saying? That legacy. So people hear those names, they say, this will remain with you all. You say, okay, I think under that name, Chairman Fred, the Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying? We got it. How we treat you, how we deal with you, the community refrigerator. Those things will stick with you. If you came past us, that's Chairman Fred's house. You seen people selling drugs out of it, that'll stick with you. You know what I'm saying? In fact, one brother in the neighborhood that reminded me, he told me, he remembered, he was going through his issues. We see even the terms we use. And some people say, how people who going through issues with drugs, they say dope fiends or we say no. It's a term we use called demoralized. You know what I'm saying? So even our terms, you have to be sensitive. You know what I'm saying? We deal with issues. He said he remembers as a child riding past, he seen all these people standing in front of the house. They were in uniform standing there. He said, his mother, what's going on? She said, that's the house that Chairman Fred grew up in. You follow what I'm saying? So Field Marshal George Jackson said, we are fighting for the unborn, the living, and the dead.
Welcome back to Chicago Sunnyside Podcast. We're here with Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. of the Black Panther Party Cubs. We're here at the Hampton House, which is the house where his father, Fred Hampton, grew up here in Maywood, suburb of Chicago, west suburbs, for those of y'all outside the city. So welcome again, Chairman, or should I say we're happy to, that you welcome us here and got to show us around and some of the history of this house, this neighborhood, and you all's activities here and how you're, helping clean up the community and serve the community still and carrying on your father's mission. So we're honored to be here.
Honored to have you all here.
It's been a long time coming. I'm telling you, I have been trying to track you down everywhere you go. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna show up there and try to get him to connect with us, because we just recognize that the work that your father did and the legacy that he left for you and for humanity, and you to now step into those shoes. We are just very honored and privileged to have this opportunity to sit with you. And again, as Kasabez is sharing the work that you all are doing into the community, the developments that have been going on since your father's transition, we are just honored to partake in this at this time.
Again, we are honored to have you all here. And we say in regards to the legacy of Chairman Fred and the Black Panther Party in general, we say it's a tough act to follow. We're honored to walk, we say, as opposed to their footsteps, their Panther paw steps. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's great to see you, carrying that torch still. I remember hearing about you close to 20 years ago, mm-hmm. and probably over 20 years ago. And I don't know if you remember, but we've crossed paths a few times. Yeah,
that's what I said. I said, brother,
and seeing you involved in the struggle and still doing it, I know that it takes perseverance, it takes longevity. So kudos to you for staying in the fight.
Right on. I got to give acknowledgement also to comrades, to into the conditions also. I say that because like Tupac had said one time, he said something like, you got to acknowledge his adversaries too, that the conditions keep us fighting. We can't, and we go through battle fatigue, mm-hmm. But again, we got, we in the spirit of steel sharpening steel, and men and women sharpening men and women. We get that recharge. Yeah.
How do you keep the mission going? Because as you just stated, the fight doesn't let up. It doesn't give you a break. It doesn't get easier at any point in this struggle. How do you keep it going?
Combination of things out, some of the situations up objectively, politically, putting in context, because it's like I guess like even a physical fight. And they say like in martial arts, I forgot the term that is used in martial arts about spreading the hit. Like if you take it, if it concentrates, it hits a certain point, the impact, it stings more. So spreading, knowing history, and being armed with a political analysis that transcends generational, geographical, and gender lines. Like you have those bumps in the road, don't take it personally, mm-hmm. and you're able to say, wait a minute, this is not, you're not the first political prisoner, you're not the first, first organization to experience, intense, financial struggles. You're not the first individual organization to experience betrayal. To take these dynamics and also assess it objectively, don't beat yourself up, and put in context the history of our people, mm-hmm. what we've been through, what we're going through, and because one of the tactics of this system is to guilt you into, you know what I'm saying, in America is so Machiavellian with it. To make any dynamic is something that, you know, whether it's something in the general community or organizations, you know what I'm saying, to say that there's something that you did wrong, and not to get up and say, okay, not acknowledging that we have contradictions that we have to deal with, but you have to be real careful with that again, because it's like a double blow. You know, everything from the conditions in our community to why we're not in a certain place is always automatically, you know, what do we do? And it's never like. And I've seen sometimes, like when I go speak on panels, people say, "Here come Chairman Fred. He always gonna blame the system." I said, "We do, but it doesn't. It's not to cop and please, but it gives us a balance. You know what I'm saying? To be clear what we're dealing with, and not in a defeatist sort of way either, though, because sometimes you when you start one thing, you look at it and say, "Wow, this is." On one hand, you can look at it and say, "Well, if this has been happening." For such a long period of time, and to see the tentacles of the, you know, so like we say, made the connection from, you know, whether it be from the Congo to Chicago, you know, so to see the dynamics and to see the different degrees of being colonized, the impact. If you're not careful, you can engage. You can become engaged in defeatism. Sure. But it gives you the ability to see the victories. And the potential of our people, and you put in context what has been done to us. It's a saying out there I see on social media. It's, if we look like what we've been through, we'll be ugly. You know, we'll be some ugly people. So just to, you know, so not that we're satisfied, but to put in context to still maintain our sanity, who we are. And in our times, you can see, you know, we are armed with a gift or an ability to see the potential within our people. Even if it was something that from the naked eye might say, "Oh man, he was taking it for granted." But just the fact that, you know, that we, you know, what I'm saying, I was just commenting back to reference to social media. I seen a brother and a sister who I grew up with, and I seen them, their images on they go on their grandchild on social media, and I commented. I say, and I say, wow! I see. Just I know some of the struggles they've been through, you know, and the testimony. I say it's a term we use, a community couple, and that's a different. To see that it's inspirational, and I'm able to retrieve or get, you know, say, motivation from the people, you know what I'm saying, from situations that something may seem as simplistic as that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something so beautiful, because when you talk about community, I can only imagine it took a great deal of community nourishment, effort, support to even continue this mission. Because as you stated, like, it's very, one, easy to blame the victim, is to think you have all the weight of the world on your own shoulders, and it's very easy to fall into, like you stated, defeatism. But in order to be able to endure and work through those challenges, it takes a village. Yes. It takes community. Yes. How has that referenced or looked in your life?
Different dynamics ranging from even with travel. And I recall I was struggling with a sister's home who was a layover, a place we stayed at. And she was like, "I wish we could do more." I said, "Sister," I said, "let me explain the significance of even this, something you may take for granted, just having a place to rest at." I was talking James Amos, who played James Evans in the Good Times series, and I was talking about his grandparents' home in Gary, Indiana, was a layover for the Garveyites, for the UNI, Marcus Garvey's organizing, and those different dynamics, you know, so you can see the impact even on him. And a lot of times, it's one of the dynamics, being that we are deprived of a non-acknowledged war on our people. There are certain tentacles or certain terms that we miss, like, you know, That's why we struggle with different terms. Like, in fact, I was talking to some youth earlier, and they was like, "Why you know?" The question was, you say Chairman Fred as opposed to my father, and we try to put things in context. In fact, we coming up on December the 4th would be the 55th year after the assassinations of Chairman Fred and Defense Captain Mark Clark. We said that's one of our September 11 stories. That's the day in which 2 of our twin towers, quote unquote, fell. And once you start putting stuff in context, it opens the door for like not only the blows and the hits that we receive, but also the roles of support. Like when I recall going on a tour, it was the African Anti-Terrorism Bill tour. And I was correlating how, I think then former U.S. President George Bush Jr., how he would talk to the American troops. And I recall talking to the different brothers and sisters in the community. I recall us drawing a correlation from like the code orange, code yellow, the American terrorism bill. We would say code green, code black. It would say like when the bounty was increased on the head of Assad Shakur, or the course was intensifying their attempt to execute political prisoner Mumia Abu Jamal. We say the terror alert has been elevated to code red, and that opened the door for the different roles. What role can the people play? And so again, things from houses being for layovers. I can't even articulate the amount of times when, place travel, hot meals, you know what I'm saying? And people might say, well, that's not a big deal, but it's again, the morale, and people coming through in the clinch in so many situations, we got comrades here, forces here, us want to pick them up. And just even the information, learning, because again, learning from the people. Testimony after testimony, and I could think about, as a child, I did an interview. I did an interview not as a child, but with Lou Palmer, who was a journalist in Chicago, and they referred to him as a Panther with a pen, and we was talking about his wife Georgia English when she heard what brought him and her to support the Panther Party. He say. They heard about the Chicago police had burnt up the clothes, the free clothes, and the free foods to supply those for the children. And that kind of triggered them to say, especially with Black Panther Party, what they're doing. And my first baby bed, Georgia English, they had got that for me, and this. In our line of work, the pay is short. You might not live long, but the people. I can't, tell you, the comfortability, the security that the people provide. I remember this interview. Stody Carmichael, Kwame Ture, was talking about it's my health insurance or something. He said how the people, the people make sure he was straight. And there's so many scenarios, again, in serving the people where it may not hit their the polls or it's not documented. I tell you, I've been on countless situations on one-way tickets. And I say I go with a confidence. In fact, I recall one situation. It was a new force that was traveling with me, and I think we were going to New York some years back, and because it may have been the case of then held political prisoner Sekou Odinga, who was later released, who made this transition, but that long legacy of Sekou Odinga, and we was going to work on this case, and the brother with me, I recall his concern or hesitancy about what, how we're gonna get back, where we're gonna stay. And I see, it's this movie, I can't recall his damn movie, what's the name of this movie, where they use subtitles and it'll come to me in a minute. But I recall what a younger person was telling the guy, he said, you have to go. He said, why? So your fear is contagious. And we have this term with the Black Panther Party Cubs, we say you gotta have Cub confidence, So again, you name it, we have chapters in Brazil, we have Saint Denis, France, And wherever we go, I'm talking about no language barriers, no land, no water barriers. You know, we had situation back home in Ghana. You know, I had the opportunity to go there twice, but I remember situations. In fact, last time we went, there was said to be this big conference. Oh, what's the name? It was a big conference in Ghana, and the administration in Ghana, the president, they technically they didn't want to say that they weren't going to convene it, but it was like unofficially they was like canceling it. Mm-hmm. But I recall us out there talking. You had forces from all over, from the UK. I'm talking from all over, and we were outside, and the administration never wanted to technically say that it was not going to happen, but you could see the energy, and there was conversations going from everywhere about what's the update on political prisoner Mumia Abu-Jamal in the States, what's happening in UK with this, what's happening here in Africa. It was, the energy was on tense, you know, and we ended up having an impromptu conference outside. Mm-hmm. So that's just some of the examples.
And do you travel to Africa often, or
not as much as I should, and as much as I would like to? We plan on getting back, or we want to get back. Yeah, want to get back. We had, again, this is December was the last time, but we plan on getting back.
We will invite you to our home, our community in Burkina Faso, in Togo, in Benin. Oh, wow. We are very well situated in those locations, and we would love to host you there. I would love it. Know that you would benefit very greatly from it, because it's something that's just so very powerful and so much needed. Yes. It's something like you were talking about, recharging, refreshing, yes, and being able to drink from the spring and from the well of wisdom, yes, of our ancestors. It's something. I will be honored to. I would love that. Yes, yes. Right on. Right on.
We want to ask a little bit about your history, your upbringing. Obviously, the circumstances, for those who don't know, of your birth, and how your father was assassinated in 1969. Your mother was there pregnant with you at the same time. I know that being born into those circumstances must have taken extraordinary support from your community to still try to bring you up in a good way to where you can now be standing where your father stood. Could you tell us a little bit about how people came together to support you in your childhood?
What you said, my mother to be, who just turned 19 years old, literally she was there, when Chairman Fred and Defense Commander Mark Clark were assassinated. In fact, she had covered down. She felt the shells that were fired into the apartment come through the mattress. She covered over her husband, over comrade Chairman Fred. She just turned 19. He was 21 years old. The Vice Commander Mark Clark was 22 years old. He had turned 22 in June of that year. Chairman Fred had turned 21 in August of that year, and she had just turned 19 days prior, November 28th. Yeah,
that's just crazy to me to hear those ages.
It is ages. Even
it's like now. At my age now, I'm like, man, that's like child.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, these were revolutionary times too. These were as opposed to now we did those reactionary times, but these were revolutionary times in which people were. There was a clarity of not the contradictions exist, but there was a clarity of what was the principal contradiction, who was responsible for these contradictions. It was a time period when you had mass imprisonment by people, but where the people were able to, if not articulate, but they were able to relate to the sentiments of such summations by William Thoreau and civil disobedience, when he said, in an unjust society, the only just place for a just man, I'm gonna paraphrase, a just man or a just woman is prison. So children will have their chest up. So, with your father, he's locked up. Where's your mother? She's on the run. As opposed to drinking the snake oil that was supplied by the system to say, well, there's some sort of war on drugs or war on guns. Right. There was a clarity. Right. that was, you know what I'm saying, it was
I know there's a lot of young people who really put their lives on the line during those times. You know, I've been learning more about it, like the Children's March, or like the Elder Elmer Dixon in Seattle, and the activities he was doing as a young man, and talking about the little Bobby Hutton, and them. This was 17 years old.
Yes.
So go ahead.
This was a climb. You mentioned Elmer, you know what I'm saying, Elmer Dixon, much respect, you know, member of the Black Panther Party, Seattle, Washington, Lil Bobby Hutton, Oakland, California, treasurer of the Black Panther Party, 16 years old, you know what I'm saying, I mean, treasurer. This is a climate, not just the Black Panther Party, the type of conversations that were happening in the community, you know, how people view death. And you had the discussion about, I mean, not discussion, but the reality of acknowledging the draft, where it was, I mean, in terms such as, you know, saying go fight the war, or go to jail.
Right.
Well, you know, you got to go there. You know what I'm saying? It was people talking about going underground, going to Canada. You know, these type of conversations. It wasn't where entertainers or athletes can be detached from these realities. I mean, where Andy was up, with Muhammad Ali, you know what I'm saying, he charismatically articulated and say, I'm not going to Vietnam to fight no yellow man for no white man, you know what I'm saying, to fight no yellow man who ain't never called me nigga.
My conscience won't let me go shoot my brother or some poor hungry people in the mud for big powerful America and shoot them for what? They never called me nigga.
And it was music, you know what I'm saying? James Brown had a whole totally different song playing at first. It was a movement, the forces such as H.R. Brown, not known as Imam Jim Lalamine, they literally drove down on him and said, man, you better go back in the studio with that garbage you're talking about. Well, James Brown came back out saying, I'm black and I'm proud. It was a revolution, a climate, you know, where contradictions existed, but there was, they were acknowledged, and you had to, some position had to be taken, you know. I can't forget. Go ahead.
Yeah, we were asking about the upbringing.
And now, even with that, even with that military defeat of that climb we're talking about, it just didn't pass away. It was hit. It was strategically, you know what I'm saying? With the way Chairman Fred, the Fifth Captain Mark Clark were assassinated, you know what I'm saying? What type of drugs were flooded out throughout the communities? What type of movements were elevated? What type of individuals were elevated? You know what I'm saying? So it was a climate where, you know what I'm saying, where it wasn't cool or comfortable to have, you know what I'm saying, to have certain discussions. I recall growing up, sometimes people say, man, he think he back in the 60s, you know, they would laugh at me. And, but I was deprived of that, you know what I'm saying? So I had, but I also, there were certain forces that were, you know what I'm saying, like, it's kind of like, you know, like, that's how they say, like, when, black people go on the job and they had a head nod to each other. They look like, you know, we know this is a plantation where you can pick out who is who. There were certain individuals and certain organizations that, you know what I'm saying, but all right, now this is, you know, this what you're supposed to be on. This is what this is. You know, they give me the head nod every once in a while. But I was deprived of that climate. You know what I'm saying, to be a climate that acknowledged who we are as a people, climate that acknowledged that, you know what I'm saying, that there was an attack being waged on us. But I would still get reality checks where, like, I could see the responses in school, like listen, you don't supposed to talk about the Black Panther Party, you know what I'm saying? And how certain people, whether denounced it or avoided it, wasn't say, so you can say politics is what's said and what's not said also. I can watch, like, why won't they talk about Chairman Fred? Even as a child, I seen that, so okay, this is something. This is not the safe subject, you know. And
did people know, like, who you were growing up, or like maybe your teachers or anything like that?
I was a lot of people knew and didn't know. They really like, even some to this day, there's some people who have a basic, like a elementary knowledge of, you know what I'm saying, of, you know who I am and who we represent, you know. And sometimes the climate is not conducive for them to actually learn or know, because like
or care.
Because
we think about, like, the environment that we're in today, and it's like, well, where are our revolutionaries now? Right. We were just talking about this, was it yesterday? It was like, well, where is black leadership now? And it's like, there's really doesn't seem to be, like, the need for it. anymore, because people feel like that they've arrived, that they've made it
Yes.
in the big house.
Yes.
It's like you don't realize that you're still under
Yes.
somebody else's jurisdiction,
Yes.
and we're going to see in these next
No
4
doubt.
years what this really looks like, because it's like that this is our reality, and it's always been our reality.
Yes.
And as you said, it's just not talked about. It's hidden under the covers.
Yes.
It's hidden under the rugs and the like. So now we're about to see it's time to, roll up our sleeves and get back in it.
And recognize that some forces have been consistent with it even when it's not popular. In fact, we have a term we use with us, the Black Panther Party Cubs. We said we the last call for alcohol. We said, what do you mean by that? I said, we the last. Well, in fact, once she gets upset, now she said, oh, Chairman, don't say that. I said, that's also reality. We are the last, the old saying, last, like the people be in the tower, and they're like, certain people they don't recognize. Certain conditions have to be so intense to recognize who is that. You know what I'm saying? So we've been there all the time. We've been serving you. We've been on public transportation, but we were not the ones who the media put up and said this is your spokesperson. And certain, you look back in the '60s, there was a class piece under the U.S. President John F. Kennedy's and the like. There was the same Kennedy that was responsible for, that assassination attempt on Comandante Fidel Castro. The same, Kennedy, army tanks, rolling through, throughout Chicago and Detroit. Same Kennedy who authorized his brother to put a wiretap, Robert Kennedy put a wiretap on Dr. King. But it was a class piece. When Nixon came with the so-called campaign for law and order, it forced a lot of people to say, whoa, what's that? Now, mind you, the Black Panther Party was out there then organizing. People couldn't grasp it. They couldn't see it. Mm-hmm. So certain conditions had to be present for people to grasp it. And that's most historically, even with the American Revolution, I mentioned earlier, with the American Revolution, the narrative that many people relate to is what Patrick Henry said, the call was give me liberty or give me death. But the reality is what Thomas Jefferson said, that with the American Revolution, one third was for it, 1/3 was against it, and 1/3 went whichever way the wind blew. And that's the reality. In the 60s, the Black Power movement of the 60s, there was certain dynamics, we say he turns more than me black. Michael Jackson said it doesn't make a difference if you black or white until he caught that case. Then the song changed. They don't really care about us. I can tell you how much that mailbox get filled up from people who write and say, Chairman, I hear what you're saying now with the concentration, either certain conditions hit them. Our reporter asked me one time, so how many members do you have? I said, well, a lot of times it depends on how many people the police have murdered. And that's a reality. So we gonna remain consistent, and I say as we speak, these are some times right now where where the covers are being taken off, but the deal is they even happen all the time. But sometimes they put like certain entertainment around it. Kind of like in the movie 12 Years a Slave, where they've been snatching babies from the sisters with the slave master. You say, wait a minute, told the violin player, play that music for them, just to soothe it, so you don't see it. So these times are terrible, but they're fine to acknowledge certain forces who've been here consistent all the time. Back to me growing up, as like I say, it was I was in there were times that they would like in the movie Planet of the Apes, where they told one of them I think the orangutan had said something to the monkeys. He say, "Be cool. The humans don't like no smart monkeys." Yeah. And like even with our people, a lot of times I've been warned, Chairman, be cool, but they can see in you what you on. And I recall having conversations with people like, I can't believe that the police doing it to us. I can't believe this. They doing this to our people. And if you don't know what they done to us yesterday, you have no idea what they're doing to us today.
What about today? Like, what are some of the things that the party is doing right now?
Our basic survival programs. We have the triple C's, it's children, community, and Cubs every weekend from here in Chicago, Gary, Indiana, Saint-Denis, France, Brazil. Not only the free food, but we politicizing the people. We had a Free 'em All radio every Wednesday that's done in the spirit of the Black Panther Party newspaper. We continue to fight for the case of political prisoners, the Mumia Abu Jamals, you name it. In fact, we try to seize the time as we speak. Now, I didn't put it out publicly, but I just put out, we get the One Prisoner, One Contact challenge. Well, we got everybody sending names to these prisons because we got word that there's some possibilities of some pardons, some presidential pardons be happening. So we've been flooding these names. I moved so I was on the stage speaking when I got the word, Chairman, get these names to him. I didn't know if it was outgoing administration or incoming administration. I just said, get the names ASAP. So we had a one prisoner, one contact campaign, which means basically at any given time, everyone should be able to give us a status check on some particular prison. I say status check to mean whether if that person is alive or not. You know what I'm saying? They have parole hearing coming up. Are they in isolation? You know. Also, we come up on the 55th year of the assassination of Chairman Fred Hampton Maakmaah. We're fighting, we proposing, we trying to get some sort of edifice. You know what I'm saying? Because I was looking in Chicago and I said, no, this is no slight, but I seen the monument for Mahalia Jackson and others. I was like, man, we did like an edifice of building. You know what I'm saying? To acknowledge, you know what I'm saying, the work of the Black Panther Party. That's something we're pushing for, and we even, you know, we get certain moves we'll make, but while we fighting, this system is constantly fighting to hijack that legacy. It's a constant battle. We'll gain a few feet, and they're coming and say, well, let's go create another group that sounds like him, sounds like them. We don't want the people to get caught up with this whole struggle for self-determination.
Well, you all look like you have been doing quite a bit with this home and this community, and I understand that it's now a historical site.
Yes.
Historical
yes.
Landmark.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had some school children come in, and it was phenomenal. We definitely, you know what I'm saying, making a school children. We got some children coming in this Saturday. They commit. They're gonna be coming. They're gonna be working the community refrigerator we have in front of the house. They're gonna be committed to every week come clean the community refrigerator out, donate food. But yeah, making a school trip. Come on out to the Hampton House, 804 South 17th Avenue, Maywood, Illinois, 60153. Email at savethehamptonhouse@gmail. Set up a tour. Come on through. Yeah. Please.
So that's something to definitely people should take note of, because people need that history. So I'm very excited to hear that those tours are available.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to inviting some young people
Please.
to have some awareness about the challenges and the fight, because as you stated, it's still going on. It hasn't deteriorated at all.
Yes.
Now, as far as like political education, obviously anyone who's coming to try to be a part of the movement is going to need education. They're going to need to have be informed on the direction to take and why the direction that the system is kind of trying to funnel us through the schools, through the media and all of this music, why that's not for us. You know,
yes.
Like what kind of resources will you point people towards in terms of education?
Freedom on Radio, we do every Wednesday. In fact, to become a member of the Black Panther Party Cubs, you have to take at least 6 different episodes of Freedom on Radio. You have to do a summation on those. It's done in the spirit of the Black Panther Party, so you have to do 6 weeks of political education to become a member of the Black Panther Party. We also say you have to do a certain amount of Cub community service. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, with the people. These are necessary. You know what I'm saying, necessary parts, necessary criteria becoming members of the Black Panther Party. But that through the door, that 6 weeks of political education, those 6 shows of Freedom on Radio.
Okay, cool.
So how can we learn more about those opportunities? Please,
you can on my YouTube, Chairman Fred Jr., Chairman Fred Jr. Subscribe that on YouTube. You can also even snail mail or write letters direct to the Hampton House, 804 South 17th Avenue, Maywood, Illinois, 60153. Email us at savethehamptonhouse@gmail.com. Instagram, the official Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. Facebook, Fred Hampton, yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure to have that also in the description.
Please.
For our podcast episode.
Right on.
So we wanted to see if you wanted to talk about any of your experience, anything that you really shape who you are, and really what keeps that fire. Like you talked a little bit about some of the community experiences, but to get more into some of your own inspiration.
I received inspiration from studying the history of the Black Panther Party, studying the history of resistance. There have been a number of occasions, as we say, felt like I literally have kissed the casket, tangled with torture, and danced with death. I thought, myself, I said, count me out of here, But then into the ground, Chairman Fred said, when he was a political prisoner, he said, even being a member of the Vanguard Party, I put my ear to the ground and felt the beat of the people. I recall being on hunger strikes in prison, and without no outside communication, the people who have went through, they made sure that they got word of what was going on with me. You name it, even in the country all the time, the people have always come through.
And what do you see as far as like the direction from here? Like, where is society headed? Because as we stated, like, the system hasn't really changed, but the dynamics of people seems to have changed and kind of been rocked to sleep as far as I'm concerned. Where do you see we can take this from here? What could we be doing at this point?
Studying is weird in theory and practice. Weird in theory and practice. Don't be afraid of mistakes. We say we got to turn the communities into classrooms. I know this is the day and age of social media, where people say, the artificial intelligence, but the deal is, ain't nothing like that old-fashioned theory and practice. Studying, but at the same time correlating to everyday lives. In fact, to become a member of the Black Panther Party Cubs, individual also has to engage in a certain amount of Cub community service. Get out there with the community, with the people. Come on out there to the Triple C's, the Children's Community Cubs. Don't be afraid to make the mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Out there, putting your ear to the ground, getting the basic needs and desires of the people. We have a suggestion box downstairs before you come in the Hampton House. What's your thoughts? What do you believe? You know what I'm saying? We still fighting for working on a plebiscite, a world vote. You know what I'm saying? From the people. So always again, studying and serving the people by having your ears open. You know what I'm saying? Even if the people are not articulating the sentiments, quote unquote, politically correct, but we have a responsibility to apply it to the ground and study what are the basic needs and desires of the people.
Yeah, so we're going to be bringing together providers of services who are helping young people in the juvenile detention centers and Cook County jails and things of that nature.
All right on.
And try to see how we can come together to bring more solutions. So.
Oh wow! I look forward. It's gonna be Matter of fact, I'm trying to see what we're gonna do our panel with for December 4th. I might do it this summer also. But that's good. And we open up for to study the people. The people, a lot of times, I had this quote from Stephen Biko I mentioned earlier. Stephen Biko, the Black Conscious Movement, said that Black people in particular must grasp the ability to distinguish intelligence from the ability to articulate. And we have to open those doors for the people to come in, those youth in particular. Come in. We welcome, come on in, we encourage them. No judgment. Articulate, what you going through, what you feeling. We juvenile prison right off the west side of Chicago, right off Western, and I can't recall what street it's on. We've been challenging this place for quite some time. Principal Michael Grown and some others, the condition that these youngsters have been subjected to. They're forced medicating, using denial of visitation as a disciplinary method. Since we have a lot, you have children coming in with actually disdain for their mothers and their parents in general, because saying, all they know is my parent, they come visit me. It's you want to just say it's a different culture, whatever the case may be, but that depriving of our people to deal with our people. Like I think 93% of the psychiatrists that's dealing with these young black males is white women. And people say, well, man, it's not a racist, it says, but why can't we have a situation where people can relate and speak to them? And a lot of times we don't want to deal with these contradictions that's happening inside these juvenile jails or concentration camps, if you will. But when it comes back to haunt us, now some people want to have acknowledge and response, but these are dynamics we can't afford the luxury to wait. We have to talk about these non-romantic dynamics. In two of the cases in Chicago, one case in particular, a young lady, she's with Chicago police. I think Ayanna Preston, I think was her name. Preston. And I recall the case. I said, "Wow, this is something." You know, they say she thinks she's early 20s, and these two young guys opposed that was alleged to murder her. They were around the same age. I said, and I was talking about the difference. I said, you know, it's like how they have bombarded a lot of these youth alone. The youth that have this mindset like it's a battle, a war between black men and black women. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I said, it was something to this. I said, it wasn't like they said it wasn't a motive for robbery or nothing, what have you. And lo and behold, it later came out that both of the individuals who got the case on her had literally just been released from this juvenile prison on the west side of Chicago. Oh. And then you start going to the background, what they doing to these youngsters inside there. Mm. You know what I'm saying? And you producing this rage, and you know what I'm saying, to these children, and even a dog, like a dog trainer. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't even resort to these tactics. They mess over. They abuse. Sometimes people abuse the dogs to make them. They don't release the aggression. Mm-hmm. And to a certain degree, these are some of the dynamics. Not even going to the discussion about the so-called the video games. You know what I'm saying? That they hitting these children with. Mm-hmm. So these are situations, contradictions that are happening that we have to have people to feel comfortable. We have to start talking about it, because you got cases of adults in other places that still don't talk about what's happening with their community. I mean, when the photographs of the prisons in Abu Ghraib, Baghdad were released, where prisoners were naked, literally naked, on top of each other with dogs, you know, barking at them. You know what I'm saying? But their private parts. And they asked some of the people in Abu Ghraib, Baghdad, well, why didn't you say anything? They said, well, one, it was too embarrassing. Two, when they would mention to the other people, they said, this can't be happening. You know, don't believe them. Mm. So we have to seize the time with these discussions and lay out, you know, what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's gonna come back and haunt us if it ain't haunting us already.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we see all this time they talk about a war on drugs, war on crime, war on this, war on that, and then, you know, the solution is lock them up, and we know 13th Amendment that make you pretty much legalized slave.
Yes.
But we see, you know, so-called correctional or rehabilitation centers, correctional facilities, or whatever you want to call them, justice. Like, it doesn't end up producing any of those things. It doesn't rehabilitate, it doesn't correct, and it doesn't provide justice, because we end up having the same, you know.
And you grabbing these individuals that they bring, what's called the formative years.
Yes.
They're developing, you know what I'm saying? And you're producing a certain mindset, you know? And again, they grab them, they're doing their formative years. And so that's an extra crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so much disparity that we could talk about, but we also want to be looking for solutions. So that's what we are really.
Yeah, that's the goal for the event. So again, we
look forward to. We work on the program too. The Black Panther Party Cubs, a retreat from Chirac, to take these youngsters down to some land area down right by Kankakee, about 45-minute drive. Pembroke, yeah. Got a brother we've been working with. So we're working on getting the bus facilitated. You know what I'm saying? We're doing it for a while, but we got to get back rolling with it. The resources in play, just even a change in environment. You know what I'm saying? Taking these youngsters. I mean, it's been like the before and after some of these youngsters. It's been phenomenal. Yeah, as an adult, I can see just to get there and how I feel, just on that land, just you know, breathe fresh air, just even. Not even hearing the sirens and stuff. They have laws in certain communities. With the police, they can use their lights. They can't play. Their sirens cannot be played. They can be blaring right through the community. Mm-hmm. You know, certain white communities, they have to. I said, why don't they have the sirens on? They know the impact of that. Mm-hmm. You know, it becomes normalized. You know what I'm saying, to our people. You know, so going down there to eat with the food. I mean. I be talking about food in the abstract sort of way, but that impacts you, which you know how you feel.
Yeah.
You know, they hitting us with the propaganda bombs, so-called music. You know what I'm saying? The plantation poison, the various forms of chemical biological warfare, the fentanyl. You know, you name it. But again, we don't want to listen and defeat us. We want to, you know, to acknowledge these contradictions and provide, you know what I'm saying, some programs, solutions, we can how we dealing with it, how we continue to deal with it.
You said something downstairs when you gave the tour. You were saying that awareness, you have to have the awareness before he can.
It's the old saying, knowing is half the battle.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it was.
Knowing is half the battle.
Yeah. So one of the things we're striving for with this podcast, and we just been doing it for about a year or something, but we want to work towards coalition building, and that's what we're doing also with this panel discussion. So we'd love to have you out there.
We would love to be the Black Panther Party Cubs, the Hampton House. We look forward to it.
All right, so before we conclude, we know on December 4th you all are having a commemoration of, you said the 55th anniversary of your father's assassination, and that you do something every year for that. What can we look forward to on December 4th?
December the 4th, International Revolutionary Day. Two major dates we have with us is August 30th and December the 4th. August 30th being the Chairman Fred Streets Party, his birthday. December the 4th, and we always have a respective theme for those dates. I think last year was this past August 30th we had the People's Convention. You know what I'm saying? They had the Democratic Convention, and the Republican Convention, and we had the People's Convention.
Okay.
This thing for December 4th, 1969, the tickets are going to have Hampton and Clark. Register for the fight for reparations, struggle for self-determination, and vote for victory. So we want to have yard signs throughout all the communities. Hampton and Clark, for Chairman Fred and the 5th and Lamar Clark. Okay. And the polls open at 12 o'clock high noon, 2337 West Monroe, which we're going to be fighting to change the Chairman Fred Hampton way. That's the early voting starts now, so you can start. You can go get in contact with us on Instagram, Chairman Fred Streets Parties. That's Streets with a Z. You can support. You can go to thehamptonhouse.org. Hit the donate button. You go to Cash App $ Save the Hampton House. We can banners. We gonna flood it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of people have a lot of faith in whether it be the donkey or the elephant, the Democratic or Republican. We got the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people have fell out with each other over these partisan politics and doing electoral political parties. So we say, listen, these are times when we seen, you know what I'm saying, well, that entity of, that's the basic needs and desires of the people. We here, we say the Cubs are coming, the Black Panther Party Cubs are here. So again, our early voting starts now. You know what I'm saying? So we look forward to seeing you. December 4th, people throughout all the prisons / concentration camps gonna stop what they're doing at 12 o'clock high noon. We clench fist in the air. We having a virtual tour. Mother Comrade Akua Njeri and other survivors of December 4th gonna be there, tell us what occurred, take us, you know what I'm saying, right there at the site. We're gonna go to the wall. The wall is on Madison, California, and what else? I think we're gonna come back this way. I believe we might be doing a Black Panther Party Cub cast here at the Hampton House. We're gonna do the Cub cast here at the Hampton House, and it's a what else? I know we're gonna be showing the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. I don't know we're gonna show that. You know what I'm saying? Either we try to balance out the west side, south side of Maywood, because I know a lot of people go, oh, why you didn't do it on this side of town, So we try to, at least we can have the dinner at Center on 67th and Green that evening. That's the south side. We might have a free breakfast somewhere on the west side over here. On the west side, might do that in the west side. Then we have some in Maywood. Always, people from out of town come in and say, why you got to make sure it be so far away? I say, we try to make sure we touch all those nooks and crannies of the community. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay, sounds great. We look forward to seeing you.
Look forward to seeing y'all there. We're going to stay in contact before then. We look forward to making history, taking history, and taping history. Again, December the 4th, Punch. Also, we're working on the tour, speaking tour before the end of 55, because the 55 tour is marking the 55th anniversary. In fact, we just acknowledged the 55th year after the assassination of Spurgeon Jake Winters. We just did that yesterday. Spurgeon Jake Winters was... Remember the Black Panther Party was assassinated November 13th, 1969. He defended himself before they took him out. He took 2 police shots before they took him out, but he was assassinated. We had his family on Freedom R Radio yesterday. His birthday was November the 12th. And Algie Smith portrayed him in the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. But we're going to be tying in with this upcoming 55th of December the 4th, 1969. With their legacy. So the 55 tour will be happening, going around. I think we'll be speaking inside a prison December the 11th in New York with some of the cast from the Judas and Black Messiah. I forget which prison they're gonna be speaking in, but showing the movie and breaking that down.
For our listeners too who haven't heard of the movie Judas and the Black Messiah, it's the story of Chairman Fred Hampton, his rise, and then the other I don't want to say brother, but
William O'Neill, the agent provocateur,
who was sent to infiltrate and kind of ended up like playing a role in his assassination.
Yes.
So, to my understanding, you all, the Panther Cubs, also had a role in kind of informing the producers of that movie. So, for his story.
We met here at Hampton House. It was a lot of struggles, but we was able to come out with a dream team. Me and my mother were the cultural experts, and then that's the term that Ryan Coogler had pushed and came with the cultural experts, and that's important. We talk about the I like this analogy that Denzel Washington had gave about Spielberg and Martin Scorsese. He was saying that both of them can do each other's respective movies, but however, there's a different culture between them two. Like even in music, and I was watching a piece yesterday. I just happened to be at the laundromat, so I wasn't looking for this, but Tamara Hall's show came out. I was watching it, and I was watching this piece about this. They had these like hip hop specialists, and they was breaking down the YSL case with Young Thug in Atlanta, the longest trial in Georgia history. But I was looking at the people, I said, how are these people spokespersons for hip hop? They had, I was like, how can they sell this, you know? And I see this is something that occurs with our history in general, the Black Panther Party, our movements, you know what I'm saying? So even with the movie, initially it was people, I was like, we had to fight and struggle to get to, you know what I'm saying, like the terms, the titles, and we had to acknowledge that, you know what I'm saying? So to be that struggle for self-determination, to be able to speak on our own terms, and we still fighting for it.
Sure. Yes, sir. Well, it's great that you were able to have some input on that, and I highly recommend the film for those who want to listen.
Please check it out.
Yeah.
We had a curriculum also that came out of the film. Okay. The Hampton House and the participant media, actual curriculum. Awesome. Yeah. So we can get that in print form or have an email to people. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I would love to have access.
Okay, well, so we get that to you.
Yeah.
Well, we know we can go on forever because we just have so much that we would love to learn and gain from you all. And then we would love to welcome you into our space and let you see what we're doing as well on the South Side.
I look forward to it.
We have a community garden. We have a community of children and adults who are just really committed to reclaiming our culture, reclaiming our dignity. And we do that by giving honor to the people that came before us. And we see that legacy that you are standing on the shoulders of giants, and we want to be able to support one another in this movement.
Right on. I look forward to it. Look forward to touching back to the homeland with you all. Yes. And again, we honored and humbled to have y'all here at the Hampton House.
All right, yeah, thanks again for having us, and much respect, and wishing you all courage and keeping the mission going.
Right on, my pleasure. Right on.
Repeat after me. I am a revolutionary. 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 Let me hear the people beat. This is what we call the people beat. Started in 1966 by Huey Newton and Bobby Seale. It's the beat that manifests in you, the people. They can't never stop the party unless they stop the people. Well, ain't you high? Ain't you high? I'm high off the people. If you don't know by now, I'm talking about Shot Town.